Hi, welcome to In Truth News. My name is Jolie Gonzalez-Padilla, and I am your Hispanic Conservative Patriot. So happy you joined us. Stay tuned for more news.
The Viper here with In Truth News, where truth is in the news. Got some things to share with you. Hold on and get ready for the ride.
Good evening, friends, and welcome to another edition of Hispanic Conservatives, a part of In Truth News, where truth is in the news. Please remember to like, share, and comment. And now, our first story is about a very rare disorder. Now, us Christians know that if we see something that looks demonic, chances are that it is demonic. But mainstream media and doctors and probably even the government are scrambling to find an explanation for people that are actually seeing demonic activity and demonic faces. People transforming into probably what they truly are. Check out this story.
Imagine your vision is totally normal, and then one day you see demonic features everywhere on people only, just like this, what you see behind me. Now, that's a reality for a man named Victor Shera. He has extremely rare yet terrifying disorder called PMO, and it's commonly known as, or now known because people didn't know about it at first. It's called the demon face syndrome. People with the condition see parts of other people's faces distorted in shape, texture, position, or color. For Shera, that means grotesque, grimace, elongated eyes, and deeply etched scars. Also pointed ears. There are 75 known cases of the disorder. My next guest, well, we talk about it, and he is kind of skeptical, but he says there's some proof. And joining us now here on The Factor Uncensored, we have with us Dr. Nick Hardy. Dr. Nick, I'm always looking for the weird and the different, and I think I found it today. And this condition, we're told, is called demon face syndrome. Mm-hmm. Now, it's when an individual sees someone and their face seems distorted, almost satanic, demon-like. Have you ever heard of such a thing?
I haven't. And to your point, when I saw that only 75 cases have been reported, I said, ooh, we really looked high and low to find this one. But I have not heard of this one before. Doesn't mean that it's not valid. Doesn't mean that it's not real. I just haven't heard. This is the first time that I've heard about this disorder.
And 75 cases in a world of billions of people. That's pretty low, right?
It is. It's extremely low. And truthfully, I need to look and see what the threshold is for it even comes up on people's radar, at least from a medical perspective. But I'll say this, they say 75 reported. That means that there could be more people, but just out of fear of, embarrassment or what does this look like? What do people think? I mean, am I crazy? Did I, eat something bad? Is this temporary? I mean, just all the thoughts and feelings that come along with, this being.
How are they describing this so-called demon face syndrome? What is it exactly from what you've been able to ascertain?
Yeah, so what I've seen is basically this is a disorder that when people look at others, there's this distorted view that creates a demon-like figure. And so, some of their eyes may kind of spread out. There may be distortions on their skin. And this only happens when they're looking at people. I don't think that they said that they saw the same imagery when they looked at a sheet of paper. And so it's happening in real time according to some of these reports.
And I think they examined and they used in one of the case studies a Tennessee truck driver who said he began seeing people's faces and they looked like demons back in 2020. And the term schizophrenia has been tossed around. Where does that fit in?
It doesn't fit in here because in this situation, this is just visual distortion, whereas with schizophrenia, a lot of times people have delusional thoughts and beliefs. And so they may see it, but then there's a narrative that goes along with it that, creates a story around what could be happening, some hallucination. This is just, I just seeing things that don't look normal. So totally different than schizophrenia.
Wow. It's kind of like I don't even know what to do with this, but I'm so interested in it if people are actually seeing others who look like demons just visually, because that could lead to some mental issues. If you think people are demons around you, that would affect your brain.
Oh, 100%. I mean, even just how you respond to someone that is your roommate versus a demon that's coming in your room.
Right.
Totally different. But I'll say this, when I was reading about this, one of the things that I do think from a mental health perspective that we have to be careful of is even labeling it demon could push people away who could be suffering from this disorder.
And if you think that story was crazy, check out this other story. A federal judge just ruled that an illegal immigrant can carry guns. Yes, that's right. That's what I said. That's what they said. Ruling from the U.S. Supreme Court means the attempt to ban an illegal immigrant from possessing firearms is unconstitutional, the judge concludes. Now, how is it that an illegal immigrant, that's right, I said immigrant, I did not say migrant, which they keep trying to say that it's a migrant now, can carry guns now? Let's listen to this.
A judge in Illinois just ruled illegal immigrants have the right to keep and bear arms. So rather than the circle with the line through it, we need like a thumbs up emoji there. The case is pretty simple. Police arrested an illegal immigrant living in Chicago with a gun back in 2020. They charged him for violating the federal law banning illegal immigrants from having guns. It's been on the books for a long time. Judge Sharon Johnson Coleman just decided the Second Amendment applies to him, the illegal immigrant, like everybody else, so he can have a gun. In her decision, she wrote that Humberto Flores received and used the handgun solely for self-protection and protection of property during a time of documented civil unrest in the spring of 2020, the summer of love. Court documents show Flores fired the gun at moving cars during the BLM riots in Chicago. He argues police officers warned him about looters who were approaching his neighborhood. Key to this ruling is that the judge says Flores' conduct heavily impacted her decision. He had no criminal record and was not considered a risk.
So there you go. It's not okay for citizens to have guns. I mean, they've been trying to ban them. They've been trying to cripple the Second Amendment for a while. But now it's perfectly okay for an illegal immigrant to have guns, because if they're not allowed, then we're messing with their constitutional rights, which, by the way, as illegal immigrants, they have no constitutional rights. They're not a citizen. We, the people, need to learn how to stand up and speak our minds. And in other news, did you know that Trump is the only candidate in the history of the Republican Party to win the majority of the Hispanic vote? Yes, and that is based on the primary and the previous election. So imagine what will happen in 6 months at the general election. Young Commissioner Kevin Cabrera is Trump's main consultant among Miami Latinos. He is the son of Cuban immigrants, and he defends Trump's message on the border, gives details of the growing Hispanic support for Republicans. Now, as Hispanic conservatives, we know that this is a momentous moment. This is something that we've been working on for many years now to awaken our Hispanic communities to the truth about Republicans and the truth about Democrats. That's all for now, friends. But in closing, I want to share this special video with you. It's one of my favorite ones about Trump because it comes straight from a former mainstream media professional, someone who decided to be honest with people and shared some insightful, key facts that mainstream media misinformed us on for many years on Trump. Hope you enjoy it, and please follow us on intruthnews.com. We love you, God bless you, and God bless America.
One is the historic trend of major media mistakes in the era of Trump forming a disturbing pattern.
And now, the President and First Lady of the United States will take their first dance.
The tone was set on President Trump's first official day in office. CNN claimed Nancy Sinatra was not happy about her father Frank Sinatra's song My Way being used at Trump's inauguration.
I did it my way.
Nancy Sinatra responded on Twitter, "That's not true. I never said that. Why do you lie, CNN? Actually, I'm wishing him the best." Meantime, Time incorrectly reported that President Trump had removed the bust statue of Martin Luther King Jr. from the Oval Office. That false news went viral. In February 2017, TMZ reported Trump had changed the name Black History Month to African American History Month, implying the change was racist. In fact, it turns out Presidents Obama, George W. Bush, and Clinton all called Black History Month African American History Month. Also, the Washington Post reported on the cabinet battle over Trump's immigration order. The article was repeatedly updated to note that one of the reported meetings did not actually occur, a conference call did not happen as described in the article, and actions attributed to Trump were actually carried out by his chief of staff. And the New York Times reported on supposed contacts between Trump campaign staff and senior Russian intelligence officials. FBI Director James Comey later testified it was not true.
That report by the New York Times was not true. Is that a fair statement?
In the main, it was not true.
In May, the BBC and The Guardian reported because Trump wasn't wearing headsets, he didn't bother to listen to the translation of a speech by Italy's prime minister. But Trump was wearing his earpiece in his right ear, as always, said the White House. In June 2017, NBC News reported that Russian President Putin said he had compromising information about Trump. Actually, Putin said the opposite.
Do you have something damaging on our president?
Well, this is just another load of nonsense. Where would we get this information from?
CNN and ABC falsely reported that FBI Director Comey was going to refute Donald Trump's claim that Comey told Trump 3 times he wasn't under investigation. Instead, Comey confirmed Trump's claim under oath.
It appears that you actually volunteered that assurance. Is that correct?
That's correct.
CNN retracted a report claiming Congress was investigating a Russian investment fund with ties to Trump officials. Newsweek reported Poland's First Lady refused to shake Trump's hand, but later acknowledged she did. CNN edited a video to make it appear as though Trump impatiently dumped a box of fish food into the water in Japan. The full video showed Trump had simply followed the lead of Japan's prime minister. Bloomberg and the Wall Street Journal falsely reported special counsel Robert Mueller had subpoenaed Trump's bank records. AP reported a new survey showed trust in the media had fallen during the Trump presidency, but the survey was actually conducted under President Obama. The New York Times said a hypothetical family's tax bill would rise nearly $4,000 under Trump's tax plan. It turns out their taxes would actually go down $43. The New York Times and CNN shared a story with photos of immigrant children in cages. It turns out the photos were from 2014, during the Obama administration. In December 2018, NBC reported Trump was the first president since 2002 not to visit the troops at Christmas time, but Trump actually left the White House on Christmas to visit troops in Iraq. ABC aired video purportedly showing a slaughter and horrific report of atrocities against Kurds by Turkey after President Trump withdrew U.S. troops.
This video right here appearing to show Turkey's military bombing Kurd civilians in a Syrian border town.
But the video was file tape of a training video in the U.S. In November 2019, Newsweek falsely reported that President Trump was spending Thanksgiving golfing in Florida. He was actually in Afghanistan serving dinner to U.S. troops.
Good morning.
CBS aired a story in March of 2020 supposedly showing a New York hospital crowded with coronavirus patients.
It's all hands on deck in America's hospitals.
It was actually file tape from Italy. A week later, CBS News mistakenly used the Italy video again. And those are just a few examples. Slanted examines what's behind this trend and also takes a deep dive into the very public devolution of the New York Times and CNN, where I used to work.
This is it for right now, but let me give you a word of advice. Always know one thing in your heart, that God is always in control, and those who tell the truth and live by the truth will always be victorious in the end. You stay cool, you stay good, you stay peaceful, and know that God is with you in and all through this.